welcome to the Counterattack playthrough series. We're playing OCS Burma. The scenario is Black Cats versus White Tigers. It is now March 19th, 1944. And we're going to go ahead and start with the pre-turn phase weather determination segment. I guess I'll show this one more time. So we roll 2 dice. I'm using white as the first die. Because we're supposed to make sort of a number from it. So that's 66, not 12. In this column here, 66, takes us down to heavy rain. So that was really low probability chance there. Although I don't know what the probability is when you're just making a number with 2 dice. So heavy rain. Okay, then when we check the ground conditions, heavy rain, when the old ground state is normal, is mud. So I'll have to look up what that means. Well, it says it right here. Modify the normal terrain effects on movement by value associated under mud on the weather effects portion of the terrain chart. Okay, so there's a new special column. Okay. Air operations in heavy rain on a 4 to 6. They're prohibited, otherwise restricted. I rolled a 1. They're going to be restricted. Restricted means only flights from friendly air bases. From friendly airbase to friendly airbase are allowed, so that won't be happening. And they can refit. So the Allied aircraft are out. So this might actually be very helpful to the Japanese. Okay, so go ahead and set that up here. So we have heavy rain, we have mud. Air operations are restricted. I'm sorry. All right. Okay, next is the first player determination phase. I'm going to roll 2 dice. This is going to be for the Allies. So we got a 7. And then for the Japanese, we got a 6. So the Allies won. So they get to choose who goes first or second, and of course they're going to choose to go first. So they'll go ahead and do their aircraft refit phase. I'm just sliding their aircraft over into the active section of their air bases, but that's all the aircraft can do because of the restricted air operations. Then we're going to do some reinforcement phase. There are no reinforcements, but there are supplies flowing. So we get another 2 SP here. So they got a decent sized supply dump there. I can't imagine them ever needing to use all that, but we'll see. Next is mode determination and movement. So this is the key thing. So looking at mud on a mountain road, or fair weather road. Oh, so the roads aren't affected by mud because it's a fair weather road. So they still move at half movement points. Things that might be affected. Oh wait, oops, I'm looking at the wrong column. Then you multiply by 2. So I guess that means it costs 1 movement point on a road. Now in, what are some other things we went on? So a track, foot movement on a track is doubled. Yeah, just kind of, I mean, that's the only kind of terrain we've been moving through is tracks and roads. So yeah, basically doubled. The cost is doubled. So for mode determination, since these roads cost 1 instead of a half, but still pretty good. For example, this guy can go 1, 2, 3 without entering movement mode. But I think they're going to. I think some of these guys are going to enter movement mode to get out of dodge. So this guy will go into movement mode. What do we have in here? We got our just a mule team and artillery. So the artillery can go 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, he's going to move mode too. Oop. Okay. And then these guys that are already escaped last turn are flipping back to combat mode. I think the Japanese lost their chance to win this game already with that first player determination roll. What do we have in here? Move, or combat. This guy came in last turn. Both of these did. They'll flip over to move, or excuse me, from move to combat. This guy from move to combat. It's like what I want. 1, 2, 3. He's not gonna be able to do anything. He stays there. He only fights at 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I'll do the 5. Well, I need to remember though, there's this Japanese unit sneaking through the mountains back there, so maybe he'll stay in combat mode. Just be ready for it. And then this guy that's off map still, he'll stay in movement mode. Now for the moves. Well, I see no reason to just get everyone out of there and abandon the supplies that we have here. And it is possible to destroy a supply dump, so let me see how to do that. To destroy a dump, you basically roll a die, look up the results on a table, so I'll consider that in a minute. So let's get this guy out of here. You can go 1, 2, 3, 4. Stack with these guys. Yeah. Then this guy can go 1, 2, 3. This artillery. Ooh, using truck movement points. Ooh, that's not good. The problem is, all these guys can get out no problem because of their foot movement, but this guy uses truck movement. And as soon as he hits here, the enemy zone of control, this guy doesn't have a zone of control, he's in move mode. But this guy's in move mode, or combat mode. So this guy's gonna get stuck right here. Huh. And you know, that might be okay, like I can still afford as the allies to lose one more unit, but there's still 3 turns left in this after this turn. And I'm gonna keep him, changing my mind, instead of a move mode, I'm gonna keep him in combat mode. And then I need to pay a T to fuel him. So, oh wait, that's too far away. There's actually a T in here somewhere, right? Yep, there's a T, so he's fueled. And so he's gonna go 1, and then we make sure there is no zone of control in here. Nope, just some mules and a move mode Japanese unit. 2, now he must stop. Okay, and then these mules, 1, 2, 3, might as well just get him out of here. 4, 5, 6. Okay, now each supply depot or dump has a nominal garrison, and the garrison can try to destroy it. So I'm going to try to destroy this supply dump. Roll 1 die 6. I rolled a 3. According to this table over here, the dump blowing table, a 3 is 50% destroyed. So I'm leaving some presents behind for the Japanese, but not too much. I need a 2T. I think it was there. I'll have to go review to see where that was. I think it was here. Cred. Well, I'll fix it in a second. Okay, so more movement. It's this guy way over here. Let's move him. I was moving him this way, but then he's going to hit a track here. So I think I'll move him back a little. 1, we're on a all-weather road, which has no issues in heavy rain. 2, 3, 4. Oop. Let me go back 3, because now we're going on to a fair weather road, which costs 1, so 4. Okay, a few more guys to move. So this guy's coming up this track. I don't know what to do here, so maybe this guy's just gonna go here with a minimum move for now. You know, we got this Japanese guy up here sneaking around. It's gonna take a long time by track. And then there's another track here. You know, maybe since these guys are escaping, the Japanese might cut this way, hard to say. So might want to start preparing for that. So some guys that have not moved, so he moved. These guys did not move. It's very hard to supply these guys, so I might still scooch them out this way a little bit. And there's a supply dump there. Maybe I can have the mule go back and forth, bringing supplies this way. Do I have enough supply? Yeah, I have enough supply to last a bit while the mules go get more supply. Okay, and then do these guys want to move? They could move up a little, just to delay. That would be 7 defense points. You know, I feel like I need more defense points. I'll just leave these guys stacked for the moment. In fact, I probably should have done this a little different. I probably should have just made like 2 gigantic stacks right here, but we'll see. Okay, I think that's all the moves I'm going to do. Unfortunately for that artillery piece, it's probably dead. So next we go to the barrage segment of the movement phase. That's where aircraft and ships only could barrage, and aircraft are out of commission right now. So then we go into the supply phase. Okay, let's see what we got here. This guy cannot trace supply because of the enemy zone of control here, but he has ability to trace to these. Now, interesting though, this guy's in move mode, so I can trace over to here. Truck movement points are, I have 5 truck movement points. It costs 1 per, hold on, my dog. It's Murphy's Law that when you're filming a video, your dog just starts to play with a squeak toy or a fire engine goes by. Hush. All right. So, yeah, this guy's going to draw supply from here. He's going to draw 1 T worth of supply. So I'll cut down on what the Japanese can get. And everyone else, well, I don't know about everyone else. So, let's see, so 1, 2, 3, 4, yep. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, no, so, oh no, these guys are all out of supply. Fortunately, I have a supply dump here. It's probably going to be completely consumed. Maybe not. So let's see, I want to add up the total number of regiments. So this is half and half is 1, 2, 2.5, 3, 3.5. Ah, it's not too bad. So 3.5 divided by 2, rounded up. So it's going to be 2T. So yeah, that's no big deal. And when the rain stops, which I'm hoping for, they will be able to more easily trace back. Okay. Everyone is in supply. Again, it's not quite clear to me, like that's an off-map area, so I'm just assuming the locals up in Imphal are able to supply him. He is in regular trace distance now, I believe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, so I guess it's irrelevant at this point. Okay. Now for the Japanese reaction. So they don't have any reserves set up. So all they can do is barrage with, well, yeah, they can move and then barrage with released reserves. They don't have any set up, so I think that's it. I just want to double check that this phase is skipped if there's no reserves. There's nothing to do if you have no reserves. If you had aircraft, that they could be used, but so Japanese reaction phase is non-existent. So now we go into the combat phase. We can start with the barrage segment, and we will be doing some barraging. Namely, this guy here who's going to be fighting for his life. Okay, so that's going to be a 24 value barrage. So who do I want to go for? He can spot for himself. Both of these Japanese units are about the same. Curious what the action rating of this one is on this side. Okay, so this Japanese unit is a little tougher because its action rating is higher. So maybe I should barrage that. Yeah, I guess we'll barrage that guy. Okay, so looking at the barrage table, the 24 column, rolling 2 dice. Actually, before I do that, 24 is 3T. Okay, so I'll just remember to pay the 3T. I rolled at 8 on 24. Then I shift 1 left for extremely close terrain. Yes. And then I shift, I'm just trying to see if there's any like weather shift. Doesn't look to be a weather shift, so unaffected by weather, apparently. The density of the enemy, there's 1 RE or less, so I shift left again. Looks like it's just a DG. And there's one thing I wanted to check after making that guy DG. Here, just a moment. Seeing like, are there any negatives to barrages and weather? I don't see that. Also, it says the supply tracing is not affected by the mud, which is strange. I'm not sure why. So anyway, that guy is DG. So that guy barraged. Now we have another guy back here, but he's way out of range. His range is 3, so I'll have to move him up on next turn. See if I can get him in range of the Japanese. I can start doing some hurt. Oh, I do need to pay 3T, so we'll consume this T. So that's good. Get that out of the way from the Japanese, and then 2 more here. Okay, sorry. Okay, then the combat segment. Well, there's no opportunity for combat other than that artillery barrage. Exploitation. I have no eligible exploitation type units. And then cleanup. There are no allied units with DG on them, just Japanese. So that is the allied turn. Now for the second player, the Japanese, their turn. Aircraft refit phase, they have no aircraft. Reinforcement phase, they do get something. Up at their supply base at Kalewa, they get 2T. Okay, then mode determination and movement. I think some guys are going to switch over to combat mode. This guy here is going into combat mode. This artillery. These guys over here. Man, they're far away. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, this is probably really silly on my part. So these guys are going into combat mode. I mean, movement mode. Well, these artillery are just out of position. Probably not even going to see fight again. So I guess all these guys have to be in movement mode to try to chase that guy down. Keep that guy in movement mode up in the mountains. Yeah, okay, so I'll go ahead and do the movement, the actual movement. So the question is, do I want to go chase these guys down? They're just going to get hammered if they go up next to those stacks. Well, we'll start with these guys back here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5. Might as well fuel these guys up. It's raining, so I can avoid aircraft barrages. So yeah, so I will pay 1 supply point. Whew. What do we have back here at the headquarters? And are they in supply, or can they trace to the headquarters? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. So we'll go ahead and pay an entire supply point to fuel the entire headquarters. And that includes those artillery. They'll stay in move mode. They're going to move up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. See if we can destroy that allied artillery unit that's trying to escape. Let's see, these guys over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Down here, we'll go 1. Block the retreat, I guess, and just hang there. These mules, they'll just carry with them their supply, I guess. Might be silly. What else we got going on up here? This guy way out here. Mountain tracks in the rain cost 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. We've got a bunch of other stuff going on here. So I think this mule is going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to pick this up, and can't go back. So I guess he'll just stay there. And then what do we got going on here? Oh, there's another T there. So I guess I should put the T that's not carried under the mule, the T that's carried on the mule. Well, here, I'll just move this mule back to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You know what? These little mules, to avoid this ridiculous stacking I'm doing, you can just flip them to their full side. There's a little yellow F there. I wish all of them did that, but so that way I can remove these markers. Make it a little easier on myself. Okay, so this truck. I want that truck to carry some supplies around. So I think, actually the headquarters, before I do that, the headquarters is going to move. So I'll flip it over to its non-move side. Or, excuse me, its move side. Keep getting those mixed up. It can go 10, so we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Doing is trying to get those guys in supply. I know the headquarters can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So he could actually scoot up a little more. Okay, and he was fueled. That's why I was able to do that. So this truck, even though it's a truck, it doesn't have to be fueled. It's because it's a supply-oriented unit. I think we're gonna go grab some tea, as in supply tokens. It's gonna go see, that is a mountain track back to town. Oops. Uh-oh, I'm on a mountain track with a truck. 16 movement points in the heavy rain. Okay, so 16. 17, 18, 19, 20. Oh, hold on. 16. Wait a minute. I think I read that I don't have to adjust movement for supply type guys. Let's see. Note that these adjusted values do not affect supply, draw, throw, trace values and costs. Ah, okay. So it affects the guys that are physically moving on the map, but not just the more abstracted tracing and throwing and drawing. Okay, so 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 5 to pick up a T. Gosh darn it, what was that? 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, so that's 28. This drops to a 1. 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35. I guess we'll drop it off for 5, so that's 40. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So heavy rain is bad. Okay. I think that's the Japanese supply phase. Is that right? No. He's good. Or movement phase? Yeah, movement phase. Done. Supply phase now. These guys can have the headquarters, as we recall. Here, I'll get rid of this fueled marker. Could trace all the way back to here. Now I thought I read you can't throw if you're in move mode, but this guy's in move mode and he has a throw value, so I'll double check that. But I believe, if not, then I'm kind of screwed, although I think I may have had some supplies in here. But, oh no, I didn't, but I think he can draw and then throw. So I better check that, it's important. Yeah, I see nothing against throwing, so he'll go ahead and throw 1, 2, 2.5. Remember, the abstract throwing and drawing are not affected by the heavy rain. So these guys are good. These guys here, they obviously cannot trace way back. So this is 1 regimental equivalent. There's 2 battalions. Divided by 2 is half. So half rounded up is 1 T. This guy here couldn't draw from that because it's a minor river. Oh, yeah, he couldn't draw from that because using truck movement. However, he's next to a supply dump here. You can always draw within 1 space, even if it's prohibited by trucks. So what we have here is another 1T. Curious if you can eat your mules. That'd be pretty cool. These guys are almost out of supply. Okay, this guy way out here, up in the mountains here. So there's no way in the world he can trace to anything. So I think he has to forage. Let me go look that up. That's a special rule, part of Burma, not part of the core rules. Okay, so normally this guy would be marked out of supply. I remember I was talking about units carry internal stocks. That's true, but you can't do it for trace supply, only for combat. So I'm going to have the Japanese attempt to forage. There's like a little table in the book. Let's see. Oh, you don't roll or anything. So if your current status, here, I'll show you. Let's see, if your current status is not marked out of supply. Oh, I have to roll on the attrition table. Okay, there's something. So I'm not out of supply, so I'm either going to have no loss or a step loss. If there's no loss, I'm not out of supply. If there is a loss, I mark out of supply, but don't take a step loss, or take a step loss and not mark out of supply. I see. So I will take that since I only have 1 step. So let me roll on the attrition table, which I have to find somewhere. There we go. So what do we have here? Roll 2 dice. I rolled a 5. Interesting, it goes by the action rating. So highly skilled units are more likely to survive, I guess. So I rolled a 5 and my action rating's 5. 2 to 8, no loss, so I'm not out of supply. So I successfully foraged. And you have to forage, you have to be on a road or a track or next to one. It's assumed you have to be, living off the people that use that road. So, okay, so that guy's in supply, and that is the supply phase. One correction, when I was looking up the foraging rules, I noticed that the special rule in Burma is that you cannot pay a supply point to fuel an entire division, unlike in other games in this system, because of the supply situation, I guess, is difficult. So instead I have to pay 1 T for every unit. So when I fueled the division, it cost 1 supply point, but I actually had 5 units that were fueled. That was 4 artillery units in the headquarters. So that means 5 T need to be spent. So I'm spending that 1 T there. So I avoided cheating narrowly. Okay, now for the Allied reaction. Well, their aircraft can't fly in heavy rain. I neglected to put reserve markers on anyone that could have been reserved. Not really sure if it would have been useful. Maybe this artillery unit back here could have gone into reserve. So Allied reaction is over. So now Japanese combat phase. Some good stuff should happen here. Yeah, we're gonna throw it all in on this guy. Yeah, I'm not sure why I didn't move this guy here actually. You know, I forgot to move him. I think he's gonna move that way. It requires all your movement points to do that. Okay, so first I'm gonna use these artillery. I've been moving around so much I might as well use them. So the range is 1, attack is 2, 4, 6, 9. A 9 barrage costs 2 T. I might not be able to pull this off. Let's see what the supply situation is. So there's no supply near these guys, but maybe they can. Maybe the headquarters can trace. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, can trace all the way back to this supply dump, and then throw 2 T, 1, 1, 2, 2.5 to that guy. So draw it from here. You know, I'm going to draw 1 T, 1, 2, 3, 4.5. 1 T from back here in Kalewa. So, and then the other T from here. So that goes down to 1 and 3 T. Wish they called them Q for quarters. Oh well. So these artillery are ready to fire. Does this guy want to fire? Nope. They're basically out of supply over here. It could use its internal stocks, I believe. That might not be true for artillery, I forget, but you know, basically out of supply here. Okay, so these guys, that was 9 rolling on the barrage table's 9 column. Got the second worst roll possible, 3, and there's no way in the world that'll ever do anything. So that is over. Okay, oops. So we'll just embarrassingly hide those guys underneath this stack. Okay. So let's go with our attack. A little nervous about this attack. Could be costly to the Japanese. Let's see. That's 2. You know, I haven't even looked up what attack effects are in mud. I think it's only movement, but I better check this out. Okay, there's no combat effect on mud, just movement. Okay, and also I was wondering what the artillery combat value is. This is their barrage strength. The combat value is 1 of all artillery units. Okay, so we have 1, 2, and then attacking across a minor river. It's half, so these guys will attack across the minor river at half. So that's 3 to 1 odds. You know I got to do it. And then 4, 5 to 1, so that's better. 5 to 1. I'll flip this around. Got 5 to 1 odds going in. So the attacker identifies the defending attacking hexes. We both spend SPs. That's gonna, okay. So I need to pay, attacker has to pay 1 T per attacking step. We have 1, 2, 3 here. So this guy will throw it to them from up here. We've already established we can do that. So 3 T for those guys. This guy, he's going to use internal stocks. So he goes down to low supply by doing that. That's okay. It's burning through his ammo he's carrying. And then this guy can spend a T. Okay. Okay, 5 to 1. Oh, I have to announce who's leading the attack. Japanese will use whoever has the best action rating. There's 5 and a 5, so maybe we'll just use this guy. Let's see, he's a 2-3. This guy's a... Okay, they're equivalent, and this guy's low ammo over here, so maybe we'll have this guy lead, so if he dies, the other guy still have a little more ammo. Okay, so he's leading the attack. This guy's a 2, so 5 to 2 is +3. Whoa, okay. And then we determine surprise. I rolled a 7. A 7 plus 3 is a 10. Attacker gains surprise. Just making sure this is correct. Yep. Okay. And I need to see what surprise means. Oh, I roll 1 die and shift that many columns in their favor. So 3 shifts. Wow, this is just going to be just devastating. Not that it matters. It's a 1 attack, 1 defense unit. I forgot the defender does need to spend 2T per combat. Oh, there we go. So deny the Japanese the supply, which they need. Okay, so we'll go to the table. Okay, so we have 5 to 1 situation in very close terrain because it's mountains with a road. 5 to 1. So the best. So there's 6 to 1 and 4 to 1. So we have to choose 4 to 1. But we get a 3-column shift. 1, 2, 3 for surprise. And then go ahead and roll. Horrible roll, a 3. And then they add +3 for their combat or action rating differential. So there's 3. 1, 2, 3. Attacker, no mandatory losses and one optional, one option. Defender, 1 mandatory loss and an option. So let's see. So the attacker goes first. No matter what, the defender's dead. Yeah, it doesn't have more than 1 step. You know, I need to go see if that's true. Maybe a brigade has more than 1 step. I doubt it though. So we'll look that up. So the attacker option though, I can either retreat all units. I mean, that's everyone. I don't want to do that. I mean, including this guy who can't retreat. He would be destroyed because of the... Oh, I guess he can retreat out to here to avoid going into enemy zone of control. Could do that, but I think I'd rather just destroy a unit. We will destroy this unit here. Okay. Now the defender takes a step loss and then has an option. So I need to see how many steps this guy is. Okay. Brigade and smaller units are 1 step. Boom. So the allies are, they have lost 2 units. They're still, if the game were to end right now, they would still be winning. If they lose 1 more unit, the best they can do is a draw. Okay, advance after combat. These guys are advancing. Okay. And that is the extent of the combat phase for the Japanese. Exploitation, there's no one exploitation capable. I don't think I'm using my reserve markers very effectively. And then cleanup, they have 1 DG unit that can be reorganized. Okay, and that is the end of turn 2. Catch you on the next one.